Can you come through in the clutch, or will you choke? Now, what do I mean by coming through in the clutch? What I mean by that is when the stakes are high, when the tide is high, when the waters are rough, can you come through? Can you make things happen? Can you make something happen out of nothing? Or will you panic? Will you freak out? Will you get inside your head? Will you quit? Will you go hide and run away like a little girl? Or will you stand and face a challenge because you believe in yourself? You know you can do it. You have self-confidence. You have self-efficacy. Right? Can you come through in the clutch? Can you come through in times of panic, in times of turbulence in your life? Do you feed off of that uncertainty? Or do you let yourself get eaten by it? Right? Recently, we've gone through the COVID, right? I can't say the actual word, right? YouTube demonetized it for saying that word, but we just went through the COVID, guys, the Roni, and you saw a lot of people out there panicking, right? A lot of people loading up on toilet paper, spending thousands on like paper towels and stuff like that, and wiping the shelves clear of any paper products. They're loading up on groceries. You would go to a grocery store. All the groceries are off the shelves because people are hoarding them. They're freaking out. Oh, it's the end of the world, right? Because that's what the mainstream was telling them. That's the end of the world. Freak out, people. You know, and this is why I hate the mainstream media, by the way. They were out there like constantly every day going like the world's going to end. Everyone's dying in hospital. Oh, we're running out of hospital beds. People literally believe that shit. Went out, bought hordes of toilet paper, bought hordes of food, put it in their storage in their house. And sure enough, we got through it, right? But the mainstream media was like every single day fear mongering, telling people the world is going to end. And in the same breath, telling you to stay home, don't go out, don't do this and don't do that. I mean, that was a perfect example of, you know, seeing who can think for themselves versus who is still attached to that groupthink, who is still plugged in, right? Who is still plugged into the matrix. And you saw the difference between the people, the very few people out there who didn't panic, who didn't freak out, right? I never bought any more toilet paper than I needed. I still had the same batch that I bought a few weeks earlier just because I usually just go once a month, but I still had that same batch. And by the time I returned to buy a second batch of toilet paper, they had restocked the shelves. So I kind of missed that lull where all the shelves were empty, right? And I was even telling people like, hey, if you're stocking up on toilet paper and food, you're an idiot because you're just going to waste, you know, you're just wasting your money. That stuff is still going to be available. Trust me, I'm not running out of that stuff. At the end of the day, what life really boils down to is coming through in the clutch, right? Coming through in the clutch when times are tough. Even when I built my business, okay, when I built my business, it was during a time where the economy had crashed with the 2008 housing crash. I remember that. Everything came crumbling down from 2008 to around 2011, right? Things were in the pooper. And this is the time I started my business. This was the time I decided to leave corporate America. This was the time that everybody was against me. My own family was deserting me. They were like, whoa, this is a horrible decision. My own boss would tell me, please don't do this, don't do this. All my good friends, oh, this is a big mistake. Right? Even like fellow pickup mentors of mine were like, ooh, I wouldn't do this, dude. Not a good idea. And sure enough, I did it. And sure enough, things worked out fine. And I financially freed myself. I never have to go back to a corporate job ever again. It's because I bet on myself, right? I took the risk. Why? Because I believe in myself. I have faith in myself. I have more faith in myself than I do somebody else, than I do some corporation, than I do the mainstream news, friends, family, or what anybody else has to tell me. I believe in myself 1,000 times more, right? I value my own opinion more than anybody else out there, as should you. All your successes in life, on any level, whether it's building your own business, getting in a better shape, dating beautiful women, it all comes down to, can you come through in the clutch? A lot of the hottest girlfriends that I've ever dated, that have become my girlfriends, that I brought into my life, the hottest girlfriends that I've had, didn't just come to me. I came through in the clutch. I mean, initially, these girls weren't even attracted to me. And literally, one of them in particular, probably one of the hottest ones I dated, most beautiful ones, initially said to me, I'm not interested. And that's the end of it. But I kept pushing, and I kind of like creatively looked for other angles to kind of get in her life. I ended up convincing her to give me her email. She gave me her email, and I mean, cell phones were already out. So, I mean, so it's not like, oh, this was before cell phones. No, we all had cell phones by this time. And she gave me her email address, and I sent her this like long email basically explaining like, hey, this is why we need to go out, and this is how much fun you're gonna have, and if you don't, you're gonna regret this for the rest of your life. I promise you that. And I'm gonna rescind this offer if you don't accept it in the next 24 hours. I mean, I was being playful, but she thought it was so hilarious, so creative, and just so like off the wall. Nobody's ever done that before, that she went out with me. Next thing you know, this chick became my girlfriend. Next thing you know, it was me losing interest in her. Right? It was like, wow, this beautiful, gorgeous chick that wanted nothing to do with me. I got her in my life, got her to fall so in love with me to the point where it was a little too much. I worked too much game on her to the point where I started to be like, oh shit, lay off. You know, I feel like I'm being suffocated here. That was a result of me coming through in the clutch and not just quitting right then and there. Even when she made some derogatory statements towards me that could have put me in my head, I didn't. I was like, okay, why do you feel that way, girl? What makes you say that? Why are you being mean to me? I'm not being mean to you. You know, I mean, things like that. I was just, instead of going, oh, screw this bitch, on to the next one, I was like, no, I'm working this one. I'm going to plow, right? As I teach you guys in pickup, you got to plow. And I came through in the clutch. Back when I was playing football, I was like a third string quarterback on the semi-pro team at one point. And within like 2 games, I took the starting job because the starter got hurt, and then the backup went in there and he started screwing up, and then they finally sent me in with like less than half a quarter to play, and because I performed so well, they moved me up to second string. And then by the time that the second game came around, the starter didn't do well in that game, so they put me in at halftime, and I was able to do better than him, and we ended up beating that team. And then by the third game that came around, I was now the starter. I took the job away from both of them, you know, because I was able to come through in the clutch. In a high pressure situation, you have to ask yourself, can you come through? Or will you choke, right? You look at a lot of big games, especially the last Super Bowl that we had with the 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs. If you guys look at my Instagram, right, go to my Instagram and you'll see that I predicted the winner of that game. Even when it didn't look like the Chiefs were going to win, I predicted the Chiefs were going to win that game. Like in the second quarter, must have been in the first quarter actually, I predicted that the Chiefs were going to win. Even though the Niners looked like they had control of the game, the thing that I saw, and that I teach you as well, is the Niners were not playing to win. They were playing to not lose. Okay, they were playing to not lose. And I saw Kansas City, even though they were down, even though Mahomes was throwing interceptions, they kept at it, right? They didn't quit. They didn't pull back. They just kept firing away. And I was like, the team who plays to win generally wins these big games. And I knew that the Chiefs, because they were playing to win, that sooner or later, they were going to overcome the 49ers, their big-ass lead, and they were going to take over, and they were going to win that game. And sure enough, they did. They came through in the clutch. You saw the Mahomes make a lot of clutch passes in that game. And then you saw Garoppolo choke, really, right? He choked. He had an opportunity to, I think it was like, that game was a few months ago, but he had an opportunity to complete like a pass that would have went in for a touchdown. Or yeah, it was like close to the end zone. And he overthrew the guy. Garoppolo completely overthrew him. Right? And that, if the guy had caught it and ran in for the touchdown, not only would it have been a much closer game, but I really believe it would have shifted the tide in the favor of the 49ers. Would they have still won that game? I don't think so, but they would have had a much better chance of winning it. But I don't think they would have won it regardless, because that is something that they wouldn't have kept up. I mean, the entire game they were not playing to win. They were just playing to not lose. So I don't believe they would have won regardless. I think Kansas City would have won, which is why I predicted early on in the game that Kansas City was going to win. And you could see I had a few commenters there on my Instagram post saying like, nope, I think you're wrong about this one, Em. I think the Niners got it. And I was like, well, I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm not rooting, for anyone, but I'm just telling you, Kansas City's going to win. Sure enough, what happened? Mahomes came through in the clutch late in the fourth quarter, completed some deep ball passes, was playing to win, and guess who won? The Chiefs, right? He came through in the clutch, and he did not choke. He rose to the occasion. Okay? He rose to the occasion. As you should. As you will need to in life. You will need to rise to the occasion. Just as when I was first starting my business, right? And the economy was in the pooper, and I was like down to my last $500, and I had built up all this credit card debt. I rose to the occasion, and I came through in the clutch. I found a way to win. I found a way to make it happen. Was it the same path that everybody else had taken? No, I found a new way. Just as you should, just as you will, right? When it comes to anything that you are trying to accomplish out there, even when it comes to like approaching very attractive women, gorgeous women. I generally, like 99% of the time, I go high risk on these girls because they're so used to that low risk approach that most AFCs, most chumps do, where it's like, oh, hi, beautiful. How are you today? I know that's not going to work, right? Even if I look like a Chad, if I had male model looks, it still won't work because she probably does have Chads hitting her up. She probably does have male models walking up to her and be like, hey, beautiful. Hey, beautiful. I know that's not going to work. I know I have to come in high risk. I know I have to rise to the occasion. I know I have to come through the clutch when I go, whoosh, claw, in. Who are you? What's your name? I start doing all that and the girl's taken back. I have to be able to handle whatever her reaction is, whether it's good or bad, right? If it's bad, I have to be able to diffuse that and spin it into attraction. And if she's attracted to me, I have to be able to maintain that level of attraction all the way through to the point where not only has she slept with me, but she's slept with me multiple times. I always tell you guys, you don't really have the girl until you've slept with her a minimum of 3 to 4 times. Okay, until she's slept with you at least 3 to 4 times within a certain time frame, that girl is yours, right? But if she doesn't, if she only slept with you once, or she slept with you once this year and then she didn't sleep with you again for another year, yeah, you don't really have that girl. She's just like a fling, and you're probably, you're not going to be able to get her, right? At least not until you have slept with her consecutively like 3 or 4 times. But it all comes back to coming through in the clutch. The way you get the best that life has to offer out there, the way that you get above average, the way that you get things that most people cannot achieve out there, the way that you get yourself a DeLorean, right? As we sit in my Gullwing DeLorean here, shooting these coaching videos, stainless steel. Anyway, yeah, we're in my DeLorean. As we sit in my DeLorean, the way you get stuff like this is you come through in the clutch, right? Even this DeLorean, this is a $55,000 with DMV fees and everything. It's like a $60,000 car, right? $60,000 car. Believe it or not, if you don't believe me, watch my previous videos on my Alpha Male Secrets channel I've done on this car, how I bought it. I documented the entire thing, so if you're gonna hate on it, be like, no, they don't cost that much. Go watch those videos first before you say something ignorant. Anyway, yeah, so this car is about $60K out the door with everything, including DMV fees and all the updates they did. You're not able to get this car if you're just working like an average job or living like an average Joe. You have to rise to the occasion and go above average, right? You have to go above average. With anything good in life, anything fun, anything out of the ordinary, you have to go above average. You have to rise to the occasion, and you have to believe in yourself. You have to have faith in yourself and not choke, not get inside your head and choke, not let other people like dumbasses out there, AMOGs and haters, get inside your head, make you second guess yourself, make you question yourself, make you kind of obsess over your flaws and choke, okay? As I always say, don't live in other people's frames. Live in your own frame, especially the frame of a hater, somebody who doesn't like you, somebody's trying to troll you, somebody's trying to pull you down, somebody's trying to make you feel bad about yourself, some cunt like that. What are you doing, right? Live in your own frame. If anything, you should be pulling those jackasses into your frame, okay? Never live in anybody else's reality. Live in your own reality, okay? That is how you will believe in yourself and have the self-confidence and self-efficacy to come through in those clutch situations you find yourself in life where you don't have enough money, maybe you're negative right now, maybe your credit card bills are too high, you're freaking out, you don't know if you'll be able to pay your rent, and you need to make something happen, son. You need to come through in the clutch and not choke, okay? Not start doubting yourself, not start losing faith or belief in yourself, but instead go in the opposite direction and go, you know what? I'm a smart guy. I've gotten this far in life, and you know what? I could get myself out of this, and I believe in myself. You always want to be writing your own story, okay? You don't want to let other people write it for you, especially the type of people we talked about, those negative, toxic cunts out there. You always want to be writing your own story and not let other people write it for you, okay? And when you're out there, instead of seeing obstacles, you want to see opportunity. This is why I tell you guys to practice stoicism, right? Part of the Stoic philosophy is that the obstacle is a way. No matter what problem you're facing, you can turn it into a blessing. Even the 2008 housing crash, even when I lost all my money and I was like down to my last $500, just when my business was like starting to turn, I mean, I wouldn't change a thing that happened back then because it led me to where I am today. It's made me the person I am today. It's made me stronger than I ever was before, mentally, internally, physically. It's brought my game to a new level. It's made me believe in myself by tenfold because I'm like, man, if I could get out of that shit, I could get out of anything. Nothing scares me now, right? But imagine if I let myself choke, if I started doubting myself, if I started listening to all the people who are like hating on me and like, no, you can't do it, I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be creating content. You wouldn't be watching these coaching videos, and you wouldn't be learning anything. So, I mean, the fact that, I believed in myself enough to keep pushing forward, I mean, it made a world of difference. It completely changed the direction of my life, as it will for you. But you got to come through in the clutch, okay? You got to come through in those tough times because it's very easy to come through when the tide is calm, the waters are calm, there's no storm, and everything's just going your way. That's really easy. When things aren't going your way, that's when you're going to be tested as a man, when you're going to see your true character come out and see what you're truly made of, and see if you see obstacles versus opportunities, right? Because everything's an opportunity, guys. You mean the biggest problems you're having right now, whether it be financial or anything going on in your life that is not going your way, that is like bringing you down and, hurting you, there's opportunity there. There's opportunity where you see obstacles, okay? You have to be more of an optimist and stop being such a pessimist, okay? You have to be an optimist. With that said, I'm going to wrap up here. Until next time, this is Matt Cross from Alpha Male Secrets. Do not forget to smash that like button below. Also, hit that notification bell right next to it so that you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on my YouTube. More importantly, guys, make sure you subscribe to my channel, okay? Make sure you subscribe. That way I can produce more and more content for you guys. And I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe. And for you guys who want to support my content and my channel and all of this knowledge I'm pumping out for you, as well as all of these car review videos lately, the best way to do that is by becoming a premium subscriber of my premium Alpha Male Secrets channel, which I am hosting on a private platform away from YouTube, where my content is protected and I don't have to worry about YouTube taking down all of my premium coaching videos or suddenly shutting down my channel. So if you want to become a premium member of my premium Alpha Male Secrets channel, that is the absolute best way to support my work. And right now it's only $1 for the entire first month of premium Alpha Male Secrets content from me. It's just $1. So take advantage of it. And all you need to do is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. Just takes 2 seconds. So do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video.